Broadcasting from the great state of Texas. News and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Good evening, Lubbock, Amarillo, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Midland, Odessa, Dallas, Fort Worth, down in Houston, over at El Paso, and anywhere else, inside or outside the great state of Texas, wherever you may be listening on this Wednesday, March 4th. Of 2026, we welcome you in to the Chad Hasty Show. Glad to have you with us today here on the program. Hope you are having a wonderful day as a day of intrigue surrounding the U.S. Senate race here in Texas when it comes to the runoff between Ken Paxton and John Cornyn. There's reports out there, little tweets, little reports that the Trumpster has made a decision on who he's going to endorse, and it could be John Cornyn. Yeah, we'll get to that as the show continues today. We do have a couple of guests who will join us just to kind of put a wrap on the election, or at least sort of a wrap on the election. There's runoffs to go and everything else, but boy, lots of big races yesterday, lots of incumbents were a few incumbents that were taken out across the state yesterday, and also just some big time results that we can talk about. We've got, of course, on the Democrat side, James Tallarico getting the nomination ahead of Jasmine Crockett, and Jasmine Crockett very upset at the home base of Dallas that there was some confusion at the polling locations, and she says that her voters were disenfranchised, and it's all the Republicans' fault somehow. So we've got that to get into on the show today. We've got the latest in the Senate race that we will delve into and talk about. We've also got some interesting national news that we'll be able to get into as well. And then, of course, how all this will play out over the next few weeks and months, and then into November. So we've got all of that to get into on the show today. We've got David Bruegel, who'll be stopping by for those of you in Lubbock County. If you're wanting to know kind of the next steps as to what you can do to get even more involved. You voted, congratulations. There's more that you can do, more ways to get involved, and that's through tomorrow's precinct convention, and then you've got the county convention. And so David Bruegel will be in about 5:35 this evening to kind of tell you about that. He's the chairman of the Lubbock County Republican Party, the outgoing chairman of the Lubbock County Republican Party, and so he'll join us to just kind of give some background on what the precinct conventions, what that is, and what the county convention is, and how you as a voter can get involved. Just some different ways where you can get involved here locally. And then coming up at 6:05, Scott Braddock, editor of quorumreport.com, he'll join us and give us a full rundown on, well, everything from last night. So we've got all of that to get into. Of course, your phone calls, your text messages. We want to hear from you. We want your feedback. Any surprises from last night? Are you surprised any about the Texas 19 race? That's now down to two candidates. When we left you on air last night, Matt Smith was ahead. Now Abraham Enriquez coming in second place. He's still in second place. There's some votes that are outstanding that they've got to count. He's ahead by about 193 votes. And again, hello. If you're Matt Smith, who I thought he ran a very good campaign for a guy who's hasn't done it before, I thought he ran a very good campaign. And boy, you just have to be sitting there going, 193 votes. That's what kept me out of the runoff. Oh my goodness. What more could I have done? What extra campaign stop? What other signs could I have put out? I mean, there just has to be a ton of questions floating around in his mind. I'll tell you that I thought he ran a very good campaign for a first-time candidate, for someone who had not been involved at that level, and I applaud him for it. I think he'll, if he wants to do it again, maybe he will do it again and run for all. Who knows? But I thought that he gave it a very good try, and hey, it's not over. You want to keep waiting until all those ballots come in, all the mail-in ballots and everything else, because you never know. I mean, I think that it's a pretty big leap to say that you can overcome 193 votes, but it could happen. Anything is possible out there. So as of right now, it looks like Tom Sell, who got 40% of the vote, Tom Sell and Abraham Enriquez in the runoff for Texas 19. And for those of you in Texas 19, what do you think? Who do you like in the runoff? Do you like Tom Sell? Do you like Abraham Enriquez? Who do you lean towards when it comes to your next congressman? Of course, they'll face a Democrat, but the Republican, obviously, a heavy favorite to win that Texas 19 seat. So, would love for you to weigh in. Let us know what you think about the Texas 19 race. Who do you like in that one right now in the runoff? You can text in at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can also respond on the app. You've got the app that you can message us on, the app chat. And then you can send us a text or a voice memo, whatever you want. You can send it to us that way. Also, we're on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on Twitter, X, Instagram, all that kind of good stuff. And, of course, you can also give us a call at any time. 1-800-687-0790. That's 1-800-687-0790. The first voice you hear from when you dial in today, it's our good buddy, Nick. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm well.
Yeah?
I'm caffeinated. I'm ready to go.
That's good.
We had a late night last night.
Yes.
All of us. I think many in the Lubbock area and beyond.
Right.
Staying up, eager to hear the latest that was coming in. What I'm not eager about is it may just be me, but there are more sniffles, sneezes,
Yep.
coughs,
Yep.
the old sore throat,
Yeah.
circulating this floor.
Yeah, 'tis the season.
Exactly. I have been left untouched thus far.
Uh-huh.
And boy, I'm a little worried. Now, last night, our very own Ken Corbin
Yeah.
was just snotting it up
Yeah.
in the studio.
He had the allergies going.
Yeah, luckily, I like that he was on from the morning show, Tom's side.
Yeah.
So that's a little gift for Tom. There.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you're fine. You're on the other side. You're good.
Yeah.
But it's a little worrying to me. I don't like being sick. I don't know who does, but not a fan. So it's a matter of time, yeah. But if I can thwart it for as long as I can.
Well, you do have a lot of allergies.
Yeah,
I know that's going on.
Yeah.
And then with the it's that time of year.
Beginning of spring.
Yeah.
Speaking
it's
of
that
which,
time of year.
I
Yeah.
believe we lose an hour this weekend. Do we not?
We spring forward.
Right.
So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. That's right. Yeah.
Lose an hour. I think 2 a.m. on Sunday.
Is that right? Is that right? We
Yeah.
spring forward
Yeah.
this weekend.
The fan favorite daylight savings.
Yes.
Everybody
we all
loves.
love it.
That's true. Yeah. So so much to look forward to.
Yeah.
Moving ahead.
I am very tired today.
Understandably so.
Well,
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Oh boy.
I get home last night. I'm in a good mood.
Sure. It's later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired, but I'm like, oh, okay. And for whatever reason, I get violently ill. From I don't know what, but it wasn't a pretty picture, my friend.
Yeah.
It was not good. Yeah. The way through this morning.
Oh man, was it a gift from someone up here?
No, I don't think so. but it was just violently ill.
I was gonna say you do sound your voice. You sound. I don't know if nasally is the word, but you sound like you've got something. Something's in the back of your throat there, with, making you sound like that. So.
Yeah, it was okay. It was not fun.
Yeah,
it was one of those where I'm like, well. Let's see. Where's the old Pepto-Bismol? We got any of that?
Yeah.
Any of that pink stuff? I don't even know what that is, but let me have a bottle of that real quick.
The fact that you're here, I think is a good sign.
Let me tell you, there was a point at about 4 a.m. where I'm like,
I could just.
There's
call
no
it.
way. Like there's no. I can't sit for longer than 5 minutes. I can't do it. I just. Yeah. And like I just kind of rested today and took it a little bit easy, doctored up a little bit, drank some fluids.
Nice. That's
good. Eventually the violently ill part just kind of subsided.
And perhaps it was just a 1 day,
I hope so.
1 night ordeal.
Yeah.
Which happens, sometimes it comes in waves.
It does.
In more ways than one. So maybe that's it. Maybe you're done. You served your time.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
It was, and I was like, even at about 10 o'clock today, I was like, who can I get? I felt horrible because, well, not only did I feel horrible because of what was going on, but I'm like, I don't want to sit the day after the election. Like this is the. I want to break stuff down and I want to talk about some stuff. And so I'm sitting there going, come on, just let me feel a little bit better. Let me feel a little bit better and it will be good.
Well, you toughed it out.
Yes.
You're here.
Yes.
You're being a trooper today.
That's right.
Until the Pepto-Bismol wears off.
Yeah. And if I have to scoot on out real quickly, then sometimes you got to scoot on out. Real quickly, 806-680-2790. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and much more on the Chad Hasty Show.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Local events, newsmakers, and information. It's Sunrise LBK on KFYO.
Coming up on Sunrise OBK on Thursday.
Hey, the car pro Jerry Reynolds will call in with his ride of the week.
Hey, also listen to Sunrise OBK when you hear music by Chicago. Be caller number 1, 2, or 3, and we've got a pair of tickets on the 4th row to see Chicago and dinner for 2 at Ponto Gaucho Brazilian Steakhouse. Coming up Thursday morning on Sunrise OBK, the news and talk of West Texas.
The Chad Hasty.
TSN headlines the day after Texas elections. President Trump weighing in on the GOP race for U.S. Senate, which is Senator John Cornyn and Attorney General Ken Paxton going to a May 26 runoff. The president on True Social says he'll make an endorsement, and when he does, he wants the other candidate to drop out. He says they must win in November. Either Cornyn or Paxton will take on State Representative James Tallarico. Texas will get a new state controller. Former State Senator Don Huffines won the Republican primary. 57% of the vote. The Democratic candidate this fall will be State Senator Sarah Heckart of Austin, and there'll be a new ag commissioner as incumbent Sid Miller has lost his primary to Nathan Sheets. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez looking at an official investigation by colleagues The House Ethics Committee says it's opened the investigation because of allegations Gonzalez had an affair with one of his aides who committed suicide in September. And with your Texas news headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Looking for the right machine to get the job done? ASCO and Case Construction is backed by decades of experience and a full lineup of equipment from light to heavy. Right now, our compact track loaders and excavators are moving fast. And with ASCO, you get the support and expertise to keep your operation running. Don't settle for less. Get the machines that get the work done. Visit your local ASCO dealership today or visit ASCOEQ.com and see the full equipment lineup for yourself. ASCO and Case Construction. Built to work, built to last.
If you've ever listened to the radio or watched TV and thought, how do they do that? Then stop by the Texas Broadcast Museum. Located in downtown Kilgore, you'll find something that's both educational and a lot of fun. You can even try your hand at being a TV newscaster or weather person. And if it's been a while since you visited, come on back. We're always finding new treasures. Visit the Texas Broadcast Museum, 416 East Main Street in downtown Kilgore, or look for us on the web at texasbroadcastmuseum.org.
Your Lubbock South Plains weather forecast. The temperatures overnight through morning dropping close to 50 degrees after the cool front moved through today on this Wednesday. But Thursday temperatures rebound to about 82 degrees under a mostly sunny sky. By Thursday evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible. That rain chance at 30% on Thursday evening. The weather is brought to you by Sonic and the American Smashers made to order. I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Financial news on KFYO.
I'm Tony with Your Money Now. The White House is preparing a series of measures to make sure that the global energy markets are stabilized. In an interview today on CNBC, Treasury Secretary Scott Braddock noted that one of the moves would be to provide insurance to carriers and cargo ships should something happen to them in the Strait of Hormuz. On Wall Street, a solid session as investors put some of the fears about Iran behind them. The Dow Industrial Average rose 238 points, ending the session at 48,739. NASDAQ added 291. S&P 500 picked up 53. A report by Reuters says that the U.S. Postal Service is hiring restructuring advisors to help deal with its mounting financial troubles. Postmaster General David Steiner has suggested that the USPS, which has net losses of $120 billion since 2007, could run out of money as early as 2027. Its most profitable product, first-class mail, is at its lowest levels since the late 1960s. That's Your Money Now.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SOUND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
From the heart of the hub city to the wide open skies of West Texas, KFYO keeps you connected to the stories, the voices, and the conversations that matter most. This is the news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
Empowering West Texas with news that matters. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO.
Don't forget about Chad. Find Chad on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on X and Instagram. It's The Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you being out there today. For those of you in Lubbock And Lubbock County, if you're a Republican voter, of course, yesterday, Election Day, that's just kind of step one or so of what you can do to get involved. We get people all the time who are asking, hey, how can I get more involved? What can I do? How can I get more involved in, the Republican Party, or get more involved in politics, get more involved in helping, shape things? Well, there is a next step that you can take, and it actually happens tomorrow. And we've got in the studio today the chairman of the Lubbock County Republican Party. We've got David Bruegel hanging out with us. Welcome back.
Hey, Chad. Good evening.
How are you doing?
Doing great, man. We had a really great election night last night. Many competitive races, a lot of excitement.
Yeah, and of course we got some runoffs out there, so it continues.
Yes,
it continues. We have some races that are still technically undecided as well, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
yep. The race for CD19 looks like it's close to a done deal, but there's still a small chance that we could see Matt Smith in second place.
Yeah, so every vote counts. They're going to make sure that every vote is counted and see where we are at the end of the day. What happens on Thursday for those who maybe want to get more involved in shaping policy, getting more involved in the party? What happens on Thursday?
Yeah, Chad, so the Republican Party is organized using a series of 3 conventions in a midterm election. First up, we have our precinct-level convention, which is where you gather with a group of people from your neighborhood. Then next, we have our county convention on March 28th, where delegates from that first convention will come together. And third, this summer, we'll have our big Republican state convention down at H-Town in Houston. And so let's talk about what's going on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We are going to have Republicans from all across Lubbock County gather at the Civic Center. The registration begins at 6. The convention itself starts at 7. And any Republican voter is able to come to this. And so we hope as many of you as are out there will come join us. Here's the 2 items of business that we'll have before us at that time. Like I said earlier, you'll gather in a group of people from your neighborhood. The folks in Lake Ridge will get together. The folks in Shallow Water will get together, so on and so forth, all gathered around a round table, and they're going to debate 2 issues. Number one, they're going to say, hey, these policy statements, which we call resolutions, we're going to debate them. Is this item going to be included in the Republican Party platform or not? If a resolution is adopted, it's forwarded onto the Lubbock County Convention for consideration to be pushed all the way up to the State Platform Committee. And for those of you that don't know what a party platform is, that's our list of beliefs as a Republican Party. It can be an influential document in making our statements on what we feel about everything from abortion and gun rights to fiscal issues and national security.
And so do people need to, I guess, have, if they've got an idea, let's say they've got a law that they want or, something that they want to see passed as a resolution, do they need to have those written up, or do they come there and write them? What happens there?
It's best if you bring it beforehand. So if you've got a big policy idea, let's say, hey, we think Greenland needs to be the 51st state. We think that's a big idea we need to put on the platform.
Let's connect it to Texas.
Let's connect it to Texas. That's
right. We're going to take Texas back to the original borders.
Hey, man, after that last snowstorm, it looked like Greenland over here on 50th Street. But that's what you do. So you write out your resolution that says why you believe an idea, what the idea is, and then all your neighbors are going to get together and debate it, go back and forth. The second thing that happens at the convention is we elect delegates to represent your neighborhood at the Lubbock County Convention. And at that Lubbock County Convention, we follow a similar process where we elect our delegates to go down to Houston to represent Lubbock County, and we bring forth those policy issues that originated right there at those precinct conventions.
Yeah. And so, again, this is open to any Republican voter who's out there in Lubbock County. You can show up tomorrow at the Civic Center and participate in this. Registration begins at 6 p.m. Doesn't mean you have to be there at 6, but, get there between 6 and 7. 7 is when all the fun kicks off, and it is a fun time. You get to see, obviously, folks from your neighborhood and everything else, and you get to hear people's, just different ideas for what they may want as far as policy goes.
That's right. You may get to meet some of your elected officials. I'll be there, Chad. I think if you get off the air, you might be able to make it as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to pack that room, man. while we're on the air, I want to bring up another item we're doing tomorrow. We've also got our Lubbock County Republican Party luncheon that we do every month. That'll be at Hillcrest Country Club starting at 11:30. So if you want to come have lunch with us, it's $22 at the door. You get a full meal and a show. So come on over.
And a show. I like that. Of course, that's all going on tomorrow. And again, this is kind of that next step for those of you who have always wondered, hey, what can I do next? Well, this is it. And then you'll hear more about. I'm sure you'll hear more tomorrow about the county, party and or the county convention and what happens there. That's always fun for those who have never been to that before.
Yes.
And then of course you got the state convention, which is if you've ever wanted to go to Houston in the middle of summer. And David, who hasn't wanted to go to Houston in the middle of summer?
Delightful.
Yes, it's beautiful. That's how you can become a delegate, and you get to learn more. And you get to learn more about the process, and this is something that's good for and if you're wondering, hey, can I bring family? Yeah, you can bring family, all that kind of, it's a family-friendly atmosphere, all that kind of good stuff. So
it's a good time. We get to debate all those issues, organize the Republican Party. Yeah. We get to hear from the governor. We get to hear from our U.S. senators. Sometimes we get to meet them.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow, precinct convention at the Lubbock Civic Center, starting at 7 p.m. Registration begins at 6 p.m. If you don't know what precinct you're in, it's easy to find that. I'm not, of course, you can find your where your little table's going to be at and all that kind of good stuff when you show up tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. I'll see you out there as well. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. You guys come out and let your voice be heard. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people fired up about the about voting and about the future of the Republican Party. And now it's time to take advantage of that and get out there and make your voices heard. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio, The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
When I'm driving, I look twice for motorcycles.
I look twice because motorcycles are easy to miss.
I look twice just in case a motorcycle's in my blind spot.
I look twice at intersections and before I turn left.
I look twice because I want to know for sure.
I look twice for motorcycles because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Look twice for motorcycles. There's a life riding on it. A message from Texas Department of Transportation.
Live local talk on Sundays, Reason, Religion, and Reality, a radio project of the Constitutionalist Society, LLC. Reason, Religion, and Reality brings you a panel of constitutionally minded, liberty-loving patriots covering topics from Supreme Court decisions, government actions including curriculum in schools, and attacks on the church. Catch the shows Sunday noon to 2 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO. Listen online at KFYO.com or on the KFYO app. Reason, Religion, and Reality.
Ted Cruz here. Tune in to KFYO every Sunday at 11 for Verdict with Ted Cruz. But stick around for Reason, Religion, and Reality at noon, followed by the best of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, right here on the News and Talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Securing America.
Tuesday, a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing examined the 2026 National Defense Strategy, which aims to place America first, improve the defense industrial base, and increase burden sharing among our allies. War Department Undersecretary for Policy Elbridge Colby said the reason for that is simple.
We cannot do everything everywhere all the time. This is, of course, a practical reality. The American military, while without peer, is not infinite in its application and resources.
Republican Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi warned we need to prepare more thoroughly for dangers presented by countries like China, North Korea, and Russia.
It is no secret that we are currently unprepared to compete against the axis of aggressors.
Secretary Colby testified when other countries look at the American and allied forces, they'll realize
Peace and restraint is the better course for them.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
All right, back on the Chad AC Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right, some texts coming in from even beginning at the show. I voted for Tom Sell, and I will in the runoff. He reminds me of Nick Barkley when he smiles. All right, another texter. I think Tom Sell's going to win. He has a huge coalition across the district. Let's see. Ronald in Lubbock, this is tough. One still lives with his mom. The other is a huge swamp creature. That from Ronald in Lubbock. Another text, you're going to vote for Paxton no matter what. If he stays in, old Cowboy John needs to go. Let's see. Texter. I don't think Trump should endorse either, but I believe in the man's judgment. I do favor term limits, but Cornyn, in this case, is proven, and Paxton not so much with the baggage. Went from Paul. Let's see. Haven't voted for John Cornyn since he joined Kennedy's Gang of Eight. Never will vote for him. Sorry, Trump. Not excited about voting for Paxton, but he gets my vote regardless of Trump's endorsement. And from another texter, Mitchell and Abilene, I really want to be rid of John Cornyn, but understand the reasoning of Trump endorsing him. Still, if no one drops out, the runoff is held. I'm still probably voting for Paxton. Yeah, I think that if Trump is, and again, who knows what's happening behind the scenes? There's a lot of speculation. But if Trump's trying to make a deal here and convince Ken Paxton you need to drop out, the conventional wisdom is Ken Paxton's going to be offered a nice gig, a soft landing somewhere. And so if he drops out and they end the runoff, then it saves the Republicans millions of dollars. They're able to apply that money in other races. Tallarico is not nearly as strong in theory against John Cornyn. I personally don't think he's that strong against Ken Paxton, but there are a lot of Republicans who disagree with me on that. You go back, you look at some of the tweets that people are digging up about James Tallarico. It shows just how far leftist he is. Now, will any of that matter? I don't know. But, this guy's not a moderate Democrat. He's not, one of these just all shucks, blue dog Democrats out there. That's not James Tallarico. He is a far leftist. But I think Trump is looking at this and is possibly worried about what's going to happen over the next 8 months. If he were to come out and not make an endorsement, to me, that would probably be the wisest thing to do, is just, back up and go, you know what? Texans, you get to pick who you want to pick, which is what voters really want at the end of the day. They want to have their say in who is going to represent them. But I think there are a lot of people in Trump's ear who are saying, you know what, Mr. President, it's going to be iffy. This is going to be close. We're going to be spending a lot of money in Texas when we could be putting that money in other states. And if you endorse Ken Paxton, then Cornyn could just You could block your entire your entire political movement the rest of the way. I mean, you'd be a lame duck president almost immediately if John Cornyn wanted payback and retribution for you endorsing Ken Paxton. So I think you have a little bit of the art of the deal happening on this one. And if it occurs in the next few days, then that means you won't have a chance to vote for Ken Paxton. If Paxton does indeed pull out of the race. And we'll see. I mean, again, this is assuming that these reports are true. We'll see if that actually happens. Mark in California, how badly did Hunt do last night? I think he was at 13 or 14%. Right around 13 or 14%, I think. That's where Wesley Hunt ended up. Cornyn really outperformed a lot of different polls. Cornyn really did well. I would say this. If Wesley Hunt was not in the race, I think Cornyn may have won, may have won it straight up. I think there's a real possibility that Cornyn would have won last night just straight up, and that we would not be having this discussion. So I do think that Wesley Hunt did push this deal and did push this into a runoff. 806-680-2790. David in Amarillo, Paxton has personal baggage. None of it out of place in Washington, sadly. Cornyn has office baggage, stuff directly related to his actions in office that Republicans do not like. Series about Cornyn backstabbing Trump if Trump endorses Paxton makes the point about Cornyn. But that's politics, right? That's some of that is politics of going, okay, you want something, I've got the cards, I got the power in this one. Let's make a deal. That's how it works sometimes. Another texter saying they'll vote for Ken Paxton if they've got the chance. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. One of the other big races, of course, last night, the race for District 19. And it was a very interesting race all the way past midnight as Tom Sell, he jumped out to the early lead. I mean, immediately. And it was an early lead where he ended up, I think when the first numbers came in, he was at 40%. And when the last numbers came in, he was still at about 40%. That's pretty dead on. Pretty dead on for what they were aiming for. And there was a true battle for second place between Matt Smith and Abraham Enriquez. And how it has played out right now is that Abraham Enriquez is in second place. The numbers kind of flipped on Matt Smith last night right after midnight, where Smith had been in second place he had been in second place the entire night. And Abraham finally caught up and surpassed him right after midnight. And really didn't look back. He's leading Matt Smith by, I believe, 193 votes. They still have some of the outstanding ballots that they've got to count. They still have military ballots that they have to count. Will any of that change the direction of the race? Doubtful. Could happen, so that's why they have not exactly called that race. But it does look like it'll be Abraham and Tom Sell in a runoff election. When we come back, your phone calls, your text. Scott Braddock scheduled to join us when we come back.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station's staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.
Tune in Sunday evenings at 5 for Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream, right here on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
News Talk 95.1, 790 KFYO Lubbock, KFYO.com, a Town Square media station.
It's 6 o'clock in Texas.
Rejected by the Senate. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Lawmakers have failed to pass a resolution meant to withdraw U.S. forces from the military action in Iran.
Ahead of the vote on the War Powers Resolution, senators made their case on the floor. South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham argued,
the Founding Fathers never envisioned that after a passage of 60 days, the president would be replaced by 535 people.
Michigan Democrat Gary Peters countered,
our founders did not want to place the immense power over whether or not to go to war in the hands of just one individual.
Republican Senators Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Democratic Senator John Fetterman voted against the resolution. Republican Senator Rand Paul voted for it.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, meanwhile, says the U.S. is gaining air superiority over Iran.
This was never meant to be a fair fight, and it is not a fair fight. We are punching them while they're down, which is exactly how it should be.
But Hegseth warns this does not mean we can stop everything, admitting additional drone and missile attacks could hit military or civilian targets. An Iranian missile over Turkey intercepted by NATO.
A missile traveled across Iraq and Syria and was taken down by NATO defense forces as it entered Turkish airspace. It is the first time that the Atlantic Alliance has gotten involved in this conflict. Folks here think the missile was aimed at a big U.S. military base in southeastern Turkey. No one was hurt as the wreckage fell.
Fox's Greg Palcott in Istanbul. The House Oversight Committee has voted to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi to answer questions over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. America is listening to Fox News.
Local events, newsmakers, and information. It's Sunrise LBK on KFYO.
Coming up on Sunrise LBK on Thursday.
Hey, the car pro Jerry Reynolds will call in with his ride of the week.
Hey, also listen to Sunrise OBK when you hear music by Chicago. Be caller number 1, 2, or 3, and we've got a pair of tickets on the 4th row to see Chicago and dinner for 2 at Ponto Gaucho Brazilian Steakhouse. Coming up Thursday morning on Sunrise OBK, the news and talk of West Texas.
South Plains weather forecast. The temperatures overnight through morning dropping close to 50 degrees after the cool front moved through today on this Wednesday. But Thursday temperatures rebound to about 82 degrees under a mostly sunny sky. By Thursday evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible. That rain chance at 30% on Thursday evening. The weather is brought to you by Sonic and the American Smashers made to order. I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, news and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Final hour of the program. Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Do appreciate you tuning in today. We are keeping our eyes on Truth Social, just to see if President Trump decides to endorse anyone anytime soon in that U.S. Senate race. Of course, in this hour, we've got a lot more to talk about, and right now to take a look at, well, maybe not every race out there, but just kind of get an idea of what happened overall in Texas last night. Our good friend Scott Braddock, editor of QuorumReport.com. Scott, welcome back. How are you today?
I'm still running on caffeine, nicotine, and adrenaline. No sleep till Brooklyn. That's the song, right?
It's it was a busy night last night, and boy, a lot of drama, a lot of interesting results out there. Was there any? And I don't know if you want to break down, Republican versus Democrat primaries, but was there anything that just surprised you in last night's race?
The word surprise isn't the way I would say it, but I think you'll know what I mean. The agriculture commissioner race really stands out to me. As you know, it became my favorite primary of the cycle with Commissioner Miller and Nate Sheets going at it. And the way that it turned out was Sheets with a commanding lead and a victory in a primary. I think not so much fueled by Governor Abbott's involvement, although I'm happy to get into that. But I think that Sheets ran a good campaign. And one of the things that I've said over the years pretty consistently is that Commissioner Miller, who I appreciate for a variety of reasons. I think that one of the reasons he has been so durable in politics is not so much that he's so good at it, even though he has been. It's that all of his opponents until now have been so bad at it, at trying to, unlock the key, put the key in the lock and unlock it in a Republican primary. He has always faced people who don't quite understand the challenge of winning a GOP contest. And this time around, there was a team around Sheets that did a good job, and they got it done.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Now the race, I think for Texas Attorney General, I think that's going to get even more interesting because when you look at policy, there's not a lot of daylight between Chip Roy and Mays Middleton. They're pretty carbon copy of each other, right?
Yeah, the big difference is money. Middleton, when he first won his seat in the Texas House a few years back, he was a House member, then a senator, and now he's trying to be Attorney General. He's always been able to bring financial heft to the situation. He's one of those fortunate sons, if you will, inherited a lot of money, and he has plowed it into politics. In this race, he's probably put something like $10 million worth of his own cash into mostly attacking Chip Roy, right? You saw those ads, and you would hear them on the radio where Middleton was going after Roy hammer and tong and saying that, he's a rhino and that he has fought with President Trump, hasn't stood with President Trump on key things. And the biggest thing being that Roy stood with Democrats back on January 6th when he was arguing on the floor of the United States House that the Congress should not do anything that could be even sort of seen as overturning the election in 2020 when President Biden was elected. And remember, and some of this has been featured in the commercials, when Roy was getting the applause of Democrats for saying that Congress should just follow the Constitution, just a harsh reality in a Republican contest. That applause from D's gets you scorn from R's when you're running statewide in Texas in a GOP primary, and you see that in the results with Middleton way out ahead. And it may be one of those races where Middleton can just wallet whip it and spend $10 million more and finish him off. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the, we all expect for there to be a U.S. Senate race runoff, but there may not be.
Well, we thought there would be. I was on the air this morning in Dallas-Fort Worth with our friend Mark Davis, and of course the first thing we were talking about is there'll be a $100 million primary runoff in the U.S. Senate race, and by the middle of the day, maybe not. Here you have President Trump coming out and saying that he's going to endorse either Cornyn or Paxton very soon, and the president said that he would expect that the other person, whoever the odd man out is, should drop out, that he's going to call on them to drop out. Only President Trump would have the heft to do that politically, and I do think that either of them would drop out if President Trump said that they should. I think that within their campaign pretty quickly, I know there's a lot of noise right now, especially from the Paxton campaign, saying that he would not do that. And can I just say this? Think about all the drama with Paxton for the last few years here, last 3 or 4 years. It was the impeachment in the Texas House of Representatives, the trial in the Senate. You had President Trump himself join in the fight against Texas House leadership after that and going after Speaker Dave Phelan. And, of course, what Republicans were doing at that time in the Texas House was calling out Paxton for his corruption and what is seen now as political liability in a general election in Texas. I think that if President Trump endorses John Cornyn, which is what all the reporting out of Washington says is going to happen, if that's the case, it's complete vindication on this issue for former Speaker Dade Phelan and for every Texas House member who voted to impeach Paxton, because it is a recognition from the top Republican in the country that Paxton is a problem for Republicans. And think about the fact that we've talked about this a lot, Chad, that there's all this talk out of New York and Washington that millions and millions of dollars are going to pour into Texas for whoever the Democratic nominee is, in this case now being James Tallarico, since he did win the nomination last night. But I don't know that that's going to happen now. I'm sure they'll get some money, and Tallarico is able to raise money on his own because he's a very prolific fundraiser, to his credit. But most of the argument for Texas being competitive and investable for Democrats nationally is not good vibes about Tallarico. Right. The argument has been that Paxton is such a flawed candidate that it would become a real race in the fall. President Trump can end it all now with an endorsement, and cut off any funds and energy, or real energy, to Paxton. And I got a lot of messages from Republicans earlier today, some frustrated folks. You probably heard this too as well, Chad, from some people in the party who said, the president probably could have saved everybody about $100 million already if he would have done this, endorsed Cornyn, last year, maybe in November or December.
So if you're Ken Paxton, you're probably not just going to be like, well, okay. You're probably thinking there's some wheeling and dealing going on behind the scenes, right? That maybe Trump, the art of the deal, Trump says, hey, you drop out, you get this over here, because as something I read earlier today, within 3 days of canvassing, they can actually, if a candidate decides to, pull out and decide not to run, there is no Senate race. There is no Senate runoff race. Is that correct?
That's true, and I've seen that in some legislative races previously, where someone secured the nomination and then they decided to withdraw. There is sort of a grace period on that. I would also say, even if an endorsement happens after that, a person can still do what you've seen this many times in national politics. A person will just, quote, suspend their campaign. Yeah. It means they just stop campaigning. I saw some folks kind of zeroing in on that part of the law that says the person can withdraw. That's true, and that would just mean there's no race at all. But there's also no race at all, really, if the person just stops going for it. And to your point about wheeling and dealing, in covering Ken Paxton, from the time he was a Texas House member, he first won his seat in 2002, sworn into office in 2003. This is the way it was chatted about at the Texas Capitol today. There's always a price with Ken Paxton. He can always be bought. And sometimes the things he's accused of are a $2 crime. Other things he's accused of are worse than that, of course. But there's always negotiation to be had with that particular office holder. Yeah, well, and then of course, if you're Trump and you are looking at Cornyn, this was what I brought up earlier. You still have quite a few months with this guy, and if you endorse Paxton, Cornyn can kind of put a dent in your legislative agenda moving forward and make you a lame duck pretty quickly. Absolutely. Look at the way that Senator Tom Tillis, who is retiring now, look at the way he's been blowing up the administration, the way he does not agree with the way that DHS Secretary Noem has carried out her responsibilities. And you probably saw the videos of Senator Tillis saying that she ought to quit, that she ought to resign. Adding to what's already a bad situation for the administration, Senator Cornyn, amongst his colleagues, I'll tell you, is a very respected member of the Senate on both sides of the aisle. And of course, Cornyn's not just somebody who could turn into a bad vote for Trump, but somebody who could lead other senators to sort of revolt against Trump. So it's another great point. Real quickly, another, not upset, I kind of saw this one coming. I'm sure you probably did as well. Dan Crenshaw got knocked out. I think in certain parts of the state, it is stronger than in other places that there's this sort of anti-incumbent sentiment. And in Montgomery County, just north of Houston, which is one of the most GOP, most conservative counties in the state. And of course, all our listeners in Lubbock and so Wichita Falls and other places will take issue, I'm sure. But the fact is that they are rock rib conservative in MoCo. as they say. This anti-incumbent streak is real. And not only did Representative Crenshaw lose to State Representative Steve Toth, I talked to him earlier today, congratulated him on being a new, soon-to-be congressman. But there was also a state house member in Montgomery County who's a chairman, Cecil Bell, who lost his race. And everything I kept hearing out of Montgomery County was that this anti-incumbent thing was realer than in a lot of other places, that people in those areas are just ready to, the old phrase, throw the bums out. And it's very often the case that excellent office holders get caught up in that. And look at the hypocrisy, I will say, of some of the people who were going after Congressman Crenshaw. And maybe it's not hypocrisy. Maybe I'll be proven wrong on this. A lot of folks who call themselves MAGA who were going after Crenshaw because he is someone who's, quote, an interventionist and wanted to side with the Ukrainians against Russia and all of that. A lot of the same people may look the other way when President Trump gets us into one war after another. We'll see what happens in Iran. Or maybe a lot of those people aren't hypocrites at all. Maybe they will get, agitated with President Trump if there's an unpopular war that's getting started right now. We'll see.
Scott, what else can people find over at quorumreport.com?
I didn't say any of it in all of that. It's a quorum report as we break down everything from these elections, and as we head into the runoffs. I mean, there's other ones that we didn't really get into, like the AG's race you mentioned, Railroad Commission. We've got the runoff for the AG's race on the Democratic side.
Yeah.
Might get way nastier than some of the Republican stuff we've seen. Stay tuned for that. We'll have it all for you. quorumreport.com. Click on free sign up, and we'll keep you in the loop.
All right, very good. Scott, as always, appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you about some of the other races and how everything's playing out next week.
You bet. Talk soon.
That's Scott Braddock, editor of quorumreport.com. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
When you see a car that's been in a bad crash, it's no accident. When it backs traffic up for miles, no accident. And if there's a fatality involved, somebody died. That's no accident either. A lot of the time, it was speeding. And it's no accident that speeding is a factor in more than 150,000 crashes every year in Texas, many of them fatal. So slow down, be safe, drive smart. A message from TxDOT.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Tonight at midnight on KFYO.
The easiest way to get your news is through News Talk KFYO. AM and FM presets in your car or truck. A bookmark on your office computer and on your phone with the KFYO app. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
On the Chad Hasty Show, you can send in your thoughts on the text line. Let's see here. Yes, Corden's a rhino. Passion would sell his mother or his firstborn for a kickback. He makes a snake look straight. That from a texter. David in Amarillo. Cornyn was going to win on primary day because of name recognition, lower info voters. As much as I like Hunt, his main job was forcing a runoff to make it possible to unseat Cornyn. Another texture. Only reason for Trump to endorse Cornyn is to pass the SAVE Act, and then us Texans vote for Paxton. Rick says if Trump manipulates the Senate runoff by encouraging Paxton to withdraw, and he's manipulating and tampering with the election process, and Texas conservatives don't get the senator he won, that's unacceptable. Is it? I'm not seeing that from a lot of texters. I'm not seeing a lot of people angry that Trump is weighing in here. Not seeing that. Paxton has his problems. Cornyn is a swamp rat. You can text in 806-680-2790. Let's see. Texture weighing in. Let's see, Chad. When the upcoming runoff in District 19, I voted for Smith. Not sure that I'm sold on either of the other candidates. What is one to do? Well, I'm sure we'll have both candidates on, and maybe even we'll see. I'm up for a debate if they want to do one. Why not? But we'll see if that's something they would be up to. I think this. I think that again, the runoff is going to be May 26th. You've got time. You got time to look. And Matt Smith's not completely out yet. He could still overcome the 193 vote deficit. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough from what I've seen, but it could happen. Right now, Abraham Enriquez is acting like he is in second place because he is in second place. And that's how you should be acting. He should be acting as though he's in the runoff. Things could change, but if I were Abraham Enriquez, it's exactly what I would be doing. Is hey, it's time to move forward, time to move on, and get into the runoff. If you're Tom Sell, you have to really like where you are. You're at 40% in a 7-person race. It's pretty good. You just have to make sure that your people are motivated to get out there and vote for you again. Sometimes you see the second place vote getter. They come from behind. Normally they're a little bit closer, though, than the 40%. Abraham's, I think it was about 18.8% or right around 19%. So usually it's a little bit closer where you worry about the second place vote getter. Abraham Enriquez, look, he's got a ground game. He's got younger people who are out there campaigning for him and holding signs. And when I would drive around to different vote locations, I would always see some younger people out there holding signs for Abraham Enriquez. And that type of stuff does matter. People do read into that, and they do get motivated by it. And so he's got a good campaign locally. And I think that's that's going to play an obvious part in all of this. I'm not sure it's going to be a Tom Sell slam dunk because I think Abraham is he's going to be even more motivated now, and I think his team is going to be even more motivated now. And you're going to see some more money probably flow into the race, and we'll see what happens with it. But if you're someone who's on the fence about either of the candidates, that's completely normal, especially if you voted for somebody else. It's completely normal to be on the fence right now, not sure who you're going to vote for. You just, again, how you have to look at it, and I've said this numerous times, is who do you think will best represent your views and what needs to happen in Washington, D.C.? Who do you think will get there and be effective for our area? That's really what matters. Who will be an effective voice for our area? There's a good chance that both of these guys, when they get there it's not going to be under the greatest of circumstances. If Democrats take the House, maybe take the Senate, they're going to be playing a lot of defense out there. And that's something to remember. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Let's see. Rick on Dan Crenshaw wasn't an incumbent issue. Made poor choices, alienated his base. I think it was a couple of things. I think, again, with Dan Crenshaw, he came out very early on when he was elected as this big, small government guy, big-time conservative rabble-rouser, and he got away from that. He got away from it, and he became a little bit of a more moderate Republican. And in that county, that matters. We'll be right back.
The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays 5 to 7 p.m. Sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790.
When you see a car that's been in a bad crash, it's no accident. When it backs traffic up for miles, no accident. And if there's a fatality involved, somebody died. That's no accident either. A lot of the time, it was speeding. And it's no accident that speeding is a factor in more than 150,000 crashes every year in Texas, many of them fatal. So slow down, be safe, drive smart. A message from TxDOT.
Nick, this is your phone here in the passenger seat. Look at me.
No, I'm driving.
You got a text. It says, "Yo, dude, your friends are fascinating. Let's text them back."
It can wait.
Sports app. Oh, you gotta see this play.
Later.
Hey, you got invited to a party. We need a RSVP now.
Phone, silence yourself.
Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Talk, text, crash. A message from TxDOT.
TSN headlines. President Trump says he will make an endorsement in the Texas Senate race and wants the candidate he does not endorse, either Senator John Cornyn or Attorney General Ken Paxton, to drop out. A May runoff schedule, but Trump says the candidate must be decided after he makes his pick. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, Republican, now looking at an official investigation by his colleagues. The House Ethics Committee says it's opened the investigation because of allegations that Gonzalez had an affair with one of his staffers who committed suicide in September. Fort Worth School Superintendent Karen Molinar is out. The Texas Education Agency, which took over the district, issued a letter today announcing the change. There are some new safety questions regarding the upcoming FIFA World Cup that stretches from Mexico City to Vancouver. North Texas FIFA Cup Organizing Committee President Monica Paul says they're partnering with a multitude of agencies to ensure everything is safe and secure. And with your Texas news headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Sometimes a catastrophic life event like a divorce, foreclosure, or a loss of a loved one can trigger serious IRS problems that you never expected. I'm Dallas tax attorney Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Namath and Flores, formerly known as the law offices of Nick Namath. We've helped thousands of people just like you find solutions. Wage garnishments, frozen bank accounts, unfiled returns. No matter how tough it looks, there is a legal way forward. Give us a call at 972-484-0829 or visit myiRSteam.com.
Looking for the right machine to get the job done? ASCO and Case Construction is backed by decades of experience and a full lineup of equipment from light to heavy. Right now, our compact track loaders and excavators are moving fast. And with ASCO, you get the support and expertise to keep your operation running. Don't settle for less. Get the machines that get the work done. Visit your local ASCO dealership today or visit ASCOEQ.com and see the full equipment lineup for yourself. ASCO and Case Construction, built to work, built to last.
Lubbock South Plains weather forecast. The temperatures overnight through morning dropping close to 50 degrees after the cool front moved through today on this Wednesday. But Thursday temperatures rebound to about 82 degrees under a mostly sunny sky. By Thursday evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible. That rain chance at 30% on Thursday evening. The weather is brought to you by Sonic and the American Smashers, made to order. I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Thursday on This Morning, America's First News. Tanker traffic has slowed to a crawl in the Strait of Hormuz, a de facto closure by some measures. What's it mean for oil and gas supplies? Also, hospital costs are rising, at least partly because of a new way they're billing health plans. We'll examine so-called coding intensity and how the conflict in the Middle East could affect your next flight. Thursday on This Morning, America's First News. Weekday mornings at 5 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Securing America.
Tuesday, a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing examined the 2026 National Defense Strategy, which aims to place America first, improve the defense industrial base, and increase burden sharing among our allies. War Department Undersecretary for Policy Elbridge Colby said the reason for that is simple.
We cannot do everything everywhere all the time. This is, of course, a practical reality. The American military, while without peer, is not infinite in its application and resources.
Republican Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi warned we need to prepare more thoroughly for dangers presented by countries like China, North Korea, and Russia.
It is no secret that we are currently unprepared to compete against the axis of aggressors.
Secretary Colby testified when other countries look at the American and allied forces, they'll realize
peace and restraint is the better course for them.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
The news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
From the Panhandle to the South Plains to the Big Country, it's the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the work week. How about that? Let's go to the phones. You can always reach out to us, 1-800-687-0790. That's what Lee has done. Lee, what's happening?
Good afternoon. How you doing? Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
Hey, I just remember thinking about, we talked about this Iran attack, I predicted it would happen about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm glad it finally happened. I've been waiting for payback for a long time, since 1979. I got up and was going to take my morning run, and the security policeman stopped me and said I couldn't go through there. I said, why can't I go through there? He said, because the Shah of Iran is there. So he left all the way across the country to ruin my morning run. And then again, and later on in early 80s, when Carter went down there, I was running again. And he ruined my run. But anyway, now I'm glad they did it. I hope they keep on going. And it ends when it ends. And if you cannot support the President of the United States and our guys over there, or the people in harm's way, just be quiet. When it's over, you can say anything you want to.
Let me ask you this. I'm playing devil's advocate here, okay?
Great.
Do you worry about... Would it change your mind if Trump was talking about putting boots on the ground?
You know, that hasn't crossed my mind. He would not do that.
But if he did?
I think
if he did?
No. It wouldn't change my mind.
Okay. So you'd be for
it? Right. The way I feel about it, I don't care if those guys live there, starve to death, or build great cities and everything, but they never are going to be allowed to have a great army or nuclear weapons again.
Yeah.
Now, if they can build a slingshot that can hit the United States or Israel, power to them. But other than that, they're not going to have nothing. Okay. And they never will.
All right. Gotcha.
That's my point.
Lee, thank you very much.
Know,
go ahead.
As far as the election,
yeah,
I finally understood what it meant to hold your nose and vote for someone.
Yeah?
I held my nose and voted for someone for senator, but I'm not going to tell you who.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy.
Have a good one. That's Lee. Jay in Paducah. Chad, this is where Trump loses me. Our senator from the state of Texas, for the citizens of Texas, to decide, not President Trump. His midterm endorsements have been disastrous. I voted for Wesley Hunt, but now Paxton has my support. That from Jay in Paducah. 806-680-2790. How about this story? It's out of Arkansas. An Arkansas man accused of killing his teenage daughter's alleged abuser won the Republican nomination for sheriff while waiting to stand trial for murder in his rural county, where he ran on a message of seeing the failures of law enforcement. Aaron Spencer defeated County Sheriff John Staley in Tuesday's primary elections, according to unofficial results posted by the Arkansas Secretary of State. He would not be able to serve if he's convicted of killing Michael Fosler, who is 67, who at the time was out on bond after being charged with numerous sexual offenses against Spencer's then 13-year-old daughter. Spencer's attorneys do not deny that he shot and killed Fosler, but maintain that he acted within the law to protect his children from the predator. Spencer won more than 53% of the vote, with all precincts reporting, according to the unofficial results. Staley, whose department arrested Spencer in 2024, conceded the loss. Quote, congratulations to Mr. Spencer. Tonight, the voters made their decision in the Republican primary. I respect the decision, Staley said in a statement posted on Facebook. Spencer said in a statement that his message of accountability resonated with voters. Quote, tonight the people of Lubbock County stood up and chose transparency and accountability. This wasn't a campaign about me. It was about every family who called for help and got nothing. That betrayal ends tonight. He's now set to face Democrat Brian Mitchell Sr. in the heavily Republican county in November. Spencer has pleaded not guilty and is out on bond while awaiting trial, which was originally scheduled to start in January. The trial was delayed after the presiding judge was removed from the case. A new date has not been set. Court documents show that on the night of October of 2024 shooting, Spencer woke up to find his daughter missing from her bedroom. When searching for her in his truck, he found the girl in the passenger seat of a vehicle that Fosler was driving. Spencer eventually forced Fosler's truck off the highway, and after an altercation, called 911 to report that he had shot the man. Sounds like self-defense to me. Prosecutors argue Spencer had planned to kill Fosler even before that night, and that he could have called police while pursuing Fosler. Spencer's attorney, Aaron Castellini, wrote in an email to the AP that the election results have no bearing on the facts of the case. Quote, Aaron Spencer did exactly what the law allows and exactly what any father would do. He protected his daughter and himself from harm. At some point, those responsible for this prosecution will have to reckon with that. So, Spencer pledged in a Facebook post last month that if elected, he would establish a dedicated team to combat sex crimes against children. It sounds like to me it was a simple case of self-defense here. 806-680-2790. I love that he ran for office while being prosecuted. Ran for the sheriff who's, trying to prosecute him, trying to arrest him. For absolutely no reason whatsoever. He's protecting his little girl, protecting himself, protecting his family from a child predator. Guy decides, okay, not only am I going to win in court, I'm going to take your job. How about that? And the people stood with him. I love it. I think that's a great story. Great story. 806-680-2790. When we come back, we'll begin to wrap up today's edition of the Chad Hasty Show. We'll be right back.
Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio. The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back on the Chad HD Show. Thank you very much for tuning in today. You can send in your thoughts on the text line 806-680-2790. Let's see. The Senate has rejected a bid to scale back the Iran war. Is that a Politico today? The Senate rejected an attempt to rein in the war in Iran. President Donald Trump would announce an endorsement of his military campaign. The 47-53 vote split largely along party lines, with Republican senators united to defeat a measure that would have required congressional approval to continue the operation. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, a co-sponsor, was the only Republican who supported the resolution. Democrat Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania broke with his party in support of the strikes, which gave GOP leaders additional room to defeat it. House lawmakers will weigh in on Thursday, although their similar war powers resolution also expected to fail. Republicans' decision to coalesce against the measure, despite questions about the administration's shifting message and concerns from the base how it will distract from domestic issues, underscores Trump's continued hold on the party. But again, what I think people are missing here is, yeah, sure, Trump may have a hold on the party, whatever. Is it wrong what Trump is doing? By taking out the Iranian regime, by getting rid of the Ayatollah, by really cutting off the head of the snake in Iran, is it really that bad of a thing to do? And I think most people would say, no, actually, it's not that bad of a thing. Now, what's going on right now is we've needed to have, it's needed to happen for a while. We just haven't had an administration that could do it. You know, the idea that some people have where, where Trump has talked about being a president of peace, that doesn't always mean that you stray away from foreign entanglements. The idea that you don't have any more forever wars, this is not turned into a forever war. This is a bombing campaign. We don't have boots on the ground. We're not invading Iran. We're not sending in troops to guard different cities in Iran. Who knows if it comes to that? Hopefully it won't. The president's made it very clear that, hey, we're going to go through, we're going to take care of some military operations, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the Iranian people. The Iranian people will have to decide what their future is. Now, I don't think it's going to be cut and dry. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be something that, you flip on a light switch and you have freedom and democracy running amok in Iran. I would love to see that happen, but most likely is you're going to have a little bit of a vacuum, and you're going to have different powers try and take over in Iran, and it's probably going to get nasty for a while. That's why we're taking out all the nuclear weapons. That's why we're taking out all the ballistic weapons. That's why we're taking out as many as much as the Navy as possible. That's why we're taking out as many of the planes as possible, as much as the munition as possible, just to take out some of the firepower. So that way there can be a little bit of a disagreement at a time for people to have a debate in Iran about what their government is going to look like moving forward. I don't view that as a forever war. I don't view that as the same as going into Afghanistan or going into Iraq like we did. Was there a close and immediate threat to the United States? Just depends on who you ask. No one denies that Iran is the or has been the top sponsor of terrorism. No one denies that. No one denies at all that Iran is a top sponsor of terrorism around the world, and that includes against Western targets. It includes against American targets. So, is there is there a danger to the United States? Well, if you look at it that way, the answer is yeah. I've seen other people who say, "Well, this is Israel's war. This is Israel's war." Again, if you believe that Iran is a top sponsor of terrorism around the world, then it's not just Israel's problem. It's our problem as well. And as the superpower, as the superpower in the world, yeah, it kind of does fall on us a little bit. It does fall on us a little bit to take care of some of these military operations. And let me say this: if Europe was nearly as strong as they used to be, I think the Europeans would be joining us right now. But they're not. Texas says, leave a vacuum over there and ISIS may take over. Yeah. Now, again, we're hoping that doesn't happen. We're hoping that the Iranian people will stand up and have a say in what their government looks like. I keep laughing at some of these reports out there asking Trump, do you have a leader in mind that you'd like to take over Iran? Of course, we keep killing all the leadership that's out there, so we're moving further and further down the list. But, the only thing that I would caution is we haven't been very good. The United States and the West not been very good at installing our own leaders around the world. I do think it has to be, led by the Iranian people. And so I think that's what we're probably going to see, is that it's going to be a movement mainly led by the Iranian people, backed up by the United States, backed up maybe by Israel as well, and maybe if the Europeans can get off their butts, then maybe by the Europeans as well. But Iran's doing themselves no favors. They're not making any allies in the region by bombing their neighbors and their friends. They're not making any allies in the region. They're not making anybody happy, and they're also showing the world what happens when you rely on China and Russia to bail you out, which is, China and Russia is not going to be able to bail you out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. May God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5 p.m.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station's staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.